Actually, since we mentioned heart math, Patricia, would you like to uh, talk about what you're doing and weave in heart math at some point?
I'd be happy to, Michael, and I thank you for this invitation again. Like I said, we just met yesterday, and I was so delighted when he invited me to come and join you. And it seems like because this is about coming together in community, that this fits right in with what I would like to share with you. So, this is something new, very, very new, and it's based on the fact that I have received over the last 26 years messages from spirit, what I call divine downloads, that are meant to assist humanity in awakening. I started meditating in 1977, so I got divine downloads, but the ones that came in the last 26 years, three of them were very impactful, and they were meant for more than just me. So I have synthesized them into one simple practice called the Divine Two Step. And the Divine Two Step is this. Step one, aligning our minds with the divine all the time, while step two, anchoring to the feeling of gratitude in our hearts all day, every day. Let's take that apart. Now, here's the deal. My background is as a meditator since 77, studying sacred spiritual laws, metaphysics for decades, and a 16-year career in energy healing. And of course, these three messages from spirit. So combining all that is what I came up with, this really knowing, I know this to be true, that it's all about the energy. Everything is energy, and therefore everything is changeable. It is the frequency at which we most consistently vibrate that outpictures in our lives. And the higher the vibrational frequency, the more heavenly life becomes. So the big question is, how does one sustain that high vibrational frequency so that we do create heaven on earth? And those three messages I received from Spirit, it identifies actually in the third message how we are essential in the process of what's created here on earth, and that we are born fully equipped to create heaven on earth. And we'll go into that next month because I'll be coming back then to talk about those three messages from Spirit. But now, the Divine Two Step, I told you what it was. Well, aligning our minds with the divine all the time. You notice I say divine because I heard a spiritual teacher say once, it's not that people don't believe in God. The problem is what they believe about God. So by saying divine, it leaves it up to the person to bring to mind what the divine is for them. So there's no exclusion here. It's all inclusive. I don't know if any of you have heard of Emmett Fox. He was a mystic, a minister, author, very well-known speaker, had quite a following, and he coined several phrases, one of which was called the golden key. And the golden key can be condensed down into one sentence, and this is it. Stop thinking about the problem, whatever it is, and think about God instead. Now, Emmett Fox didn't know anything about energy fields, and he didn't know that energy follows thought, and he didn't know that whatever we focus on increases. But he did know about oneness, and he did know about spiritual law. And he guarantees, and I can vouch for it, that just that practice of keeping our minds on the divine all the time, aligning our minds with the divine all the time, that he was talking about. You don't have to have a problem. You can just align your mind with the divine all the time, and it will change your life. It's creating a high vibrational energy field. And the more you focus on the divine, more heavenly appearance, conditions create on earth and in your life. So the second part is anchoring to the feeling of gratitude in your heart all day, every day. So That's anchoring. Well, heart math. Heart math for 30 some years has been scientifically proving how we can gain states of coherence between the heart and the mind in several breathing techniques that they've identified. And at the core of those, every one of their breathing techniques is heart focused breathing. Well, when you anchor to the feeling of gratitude in your heart, you naturally come into your heart. And it's as if you start breathing in and out of your heart. So by doing it all day, every day, you are building this resiliency of coherence by linking your heart with your mind just naturally through heart focused breathing. And you may be asking why gratitude? Well, gratitude is the parent of all the emotions. Gratitude births love, joy, peace, unity, and oneness. So, and I'll share with you the very first spirit message was all about gratitude, was all about our purpose in life is oneness, and that we have the ability to create heaven on earth. So again, that's next month. We'll go into that. This divine two-step practice, it's universal, it's innate, it's a prove it to yourself practice. There's no leaders in this except everyone that becomes a divine two-stepper becomes an influential leader, because what you do is when you adopt the practice, you'll see the transformations taking place in your life. And the lightness and the vibrational frequency that you'll be emanating, and it enhances it raises your consciousness. You begin to perceive things differently. You're emitting this high vibrational field that then synchronizes globally, because energy is unbounded. So it synchronizes globally, and it's lifting the planet at the same time it's transforming your life. So without even knowing it, people are being affected by it, especially those closest to you. But it really is global in what it will do. And when enough of us are doing this divine two-step practice, oh my gosh, the synergy that would be created globally is phenomenal of what it can do. Recently, someone said to me after learning about this divine two-step, and this was just Monday, he says to me, "Oh my gosh, I love this practice. It's deep enough and wide enough for everyone." And I thought that was phenomenal. Another woman had said, she described it after I told her what it was all about. And I said it was a prove it to yourself practice. And that as people prove it to themselves and their lives change, they start telling their stories and they become an inspirational leader of themselves. And then they influence others. And then it's a ripples on the pond movement. You know what she called it? And this is a journalist who works closely with the Scientific and Medical Network and the Galileo Commission, and her name's Liza Horan, and she named it, "This practice is democratizing transcendency." Don't you love that? I mean, I love that. Yes. So, 2 months ago, July 8th, as a matter of fact, of 2025, I asked AI, what would be the outcome in 1, 5, and 10 years if 10% of humanity began practicing the divine two-step? And this was their answer. And I mean, I can give you the whole sheet another time. I don't have the capacity to give it to you today. But in essence, what they said: in 1 year, the seeds of transformation will be sprouting all over the planet. In 5 years, it will cause a cultural renaissance where gratitude and conscious alignment will become the norm. In 10 years, it will be an emergence of a new paradigm. Why? Because humanity will begin identifying themselves as spiritual beings and as powerful creators. Phew. And then they ended it by saying, this was their quote: "I've got to say, this has the makings of a movement. Now that was AI, and that was a couple of months ago, and I really believe it just from based on the few people that have found out about the divine two-step, like Michael, who just immediately got it, and he was, like, on it like light on rice. I was like, "Wow, I love this thing." And, but that's the reaction I've been getting, just with the few people that even know about it. So, it's a dance. It's an energetic dance of combining these 2 steps, and it just raises one's vibrational field. If you're consistent with it, it starts raising your field. Your whole life will change for the better. And as you're doing that, you're actually doing the planet a service, all humanity a service by raising your vibrational field. So the question is, will you be willing to become a divine two-stepper? And if so, join our free online community that has not been developed yet, but we do have a website. And the only thing there is just not developed, but it does have a link so that people who are interested in it just press the link and you'll be registered so that when we do get it developed as a website, as a real website, it's just a page right now with a click in, that you'll be notified of what free resources, trainings, meetings. This is for all these divine two-steppers. Each leaders in their own right can come in and share their transformational stories on this website, that everything will be free, and that we will know each other, learn from each other, grow from each other, and get the word out. And as we get the word out, like ripples on a pond, this movement will just grow and grow and grow. This is a ground floor movement. It needs everyone to participate in terms of not only energetically doing the practice, but I need your talents, I need your skills, whatever. I mean, it needs to be the website professionally developed and graphically designed. I don't have those skills, and we're not funded by anything. This is like, grassroots, ground floor. So, but if you're interested, please go to divine 2 is the number 2 step.org. And I think you might have to put the https://divine2step.org to register. So thank you, Michael, for this opportunity to share this with everyone. I hope that you are inspired to help all of us create what this can be. I think it's paradigm shifting. That's what AI thought too, just 2 months ago.